Alerting on new intelligence and responding to it, whether that means organizing or taking action or performing investigations, collectively known as the process of triage, is done primarily in the EclecticIQ platform with the discovery feature. The platform comes with a global search tool which allows us to explore intel from all of our sources, whether they are external or internal pieces of data, and discovery is another search interface which allows us to take those searches or collections of keywords and save them as alerts for our users. Examples of these would be rules to alert on key pieces of intelligence discussing certain topics, for example, reports collected from various sources mentioning things like actor names or aliases. Here I have a few examples for tracking actors I'm interested in, such as APTs. I have asset rules allowing me to alert on intelligence related to my assets, such as vulnerabilities and exploits. Each of these rules is either a set of keywords or a search query which the platform runs automatically whenever new data is collected to find any relevant intel. In this way, we can use the platform to cut through the noise from all the different sources that we're collecting. If we have 10 to 20 RSS feeds providing us with intel, a lot of that intelligence is not going to be relevant. We can use discovery, saving these search queries, to help us filter through that noise and tell us when new reports come in that are relevant to our interests. Each of the rules in this list is essentially a query for the data or metadata within an entity. For example, if we take a look at the configuration for some of these rules, my actor rules here are simply looking for the name of the actor and any of their aliases. We're also filtering this to report entities just to reduce the volume of data that we might have to process. Each of these rules is similar, providing either a single or multiple keywords as part of the search query, or alternatively a list of keywords. The keyword approach makes things a little bit easier to manage. For example, here we have one for keywords related to financial sector. Each of these rules runs automatically in the platform. This allows us to respond to data whenever it's collected, so we can focus on investigations and other activities and be notified when new data is matched by these rules. The discovery view serves as a dedicated space for processing these results. So while we can always view this data in the primary search tool, in the discovery view, we have a couple of additional workflow options which show themselves over here in the context menu. If I deem something not relevant to this rule, I consider it processed and I can remove it from the queue. Depending on your workflow, you might prefer to assign tasks to users within this platform, or alternatively take the URL for a given entity, which you can find on the entity card down here at the bottom, and then save this in an external ticketing platform as an alternative approach. Either way, we can create tasks and assign them to users, and then treat these entities as processed. For example, here I'll assign this report to one of my users. That user will get a notification that they have something to work on, and now I can remove it from the queue. The discovery interface can be used to manage various rules for different topics of intelligence. So if we have use cases for vulnerability prioritization or tracking key threats or topics and remaining informed on the threat landscape that our organization is facing, we can manifest these as rules and be notified when new and relevant information is collected. Multiple users can then work through the results of these rules systematically and be assured that they've processed this data and they haven't missed anything important. Any of the data that comes through and is matched on discovery is always available through the global search tool at any time. Discovery simply gives us that system to work through the data logically. Now, since discovery uses primarily search queries, this allows us to take any search query that we're used to using, for example, keywords and reports, and then alert on any results for that query. This would be a simple example which might be worth creating, where if a new report comes in discussing APT29, I'd like to be notified by a discovery rule that there's new intel for me to process. I could then include additional aliases for this information and expand this rule in case there's other aliases used by different sources. Any attribute of any entity can be used as part of a search and therefore also part of a discovery rule. Taking a look at this entity on the right, we can see lots of information that we may want to factor into the rules we create, whether that's the title, description, and tags of an entity, perhaps the source, such as a specific incoming feed or source of users, metadata, such as intelligence requirements, MITRE ATT&CK, or tags. All of these can be factored into searches and therefore part of the logic for alerting on intelligence. For an advanced workflow, one that allows us to access additional capabilities in the alerting process, I recommend using intelligence requirements as a way to alert on new data. Intelligence requirements are a metadata field that can be added to entities, and these requirements can either be assigned manually or automatically and managed through the Intelligence Compass feature. The reason why this works so well with discovery is that one of the options for matching new data with intelligence requirements is based on AI. This allows the platform to do some initial inference, matching requirements to new data as it's collected, and then we can create a discovery rule to alert on this so that we can be notified when new intelligence matches our intelligence requirements. This provides us with a much more direct path for collecting intelligence, assessing whether it's relevant to our requirements that we've defined in the platform, and then being notified when that occurs. This allows us to further cut through the noise and perform this initial triage automatically, and then have analysts review the result. Here we can see several entities in my search which are linked to various PIRs. These requirements are accessible as metadata within the search. For example, I might want to query for the name of one of these, and I can then just save this search as a discovery rule. This will allow me to essentially notify any users of the platform when a new piece of data matches this intelligence requirement. Taking this query, I'll go to my discovery view, create a new rule, and in the rule, I'll use a search query as before, and we'll just call this IR phishing activity. It's a very broad IR, but this will allow us to take the requirement as a label, as a piece of metadata, and simply notify users when that label has been applied by the platform. Discovery rules also run retroactively when you first execute them, so we can see here this rule has not yet been run. If I run this now, it's going to look through all of the data in the platform and then provide me with a list of historical matches. And from that point forward, it will also run for new data as it's collected. If we now go back to the discovery view, in this view, I'll click the discovery dropdown where we can see all of the rules. And if we scroll down, we'll see that our new IR for phishing activity rule is available and has results. Each of these entities has already been matched to our intelligence requirement for phishing activity, so we can start to review this information. Here we have various entities which the platform has decided whether or not they're relevant to our intel requirements. In my experience, the high accuracy matches are the ones to look out for, and we can simply remove any of the medium or low accuracy matches. But by including requirements as part of this triage process, our analysts can accurately label and classify intelligence when it's coming into the platform. This then feeds logically into reporting later down the line for analysts, where they can then visualize and demonstrate how well we're meeting our intelligence requirements, what threats are out there, how well our sources are helping us collect that data, and then respond accordingly. This gives us a much more direct path for mapping intelligence requirements to data that we're collecting and ultimately reporting on effective intelligence. If you'd like to know more, please check out our website or reach out to us for a demonstration and discussion about the software. Thank you.